Look at how big this thing's growing. This is a mulberry tree. I planted it a year ago and it was only like 2 feet from the ground, but you know, it was growing for whatever environment it was in. So what I did was, as soon as it got founded or secure enough, I lopped it down at the base and let it sprout up and to grow for its current environment. They like acidic soils, so I put plenty of peat moss down there in the mixture. Like, I'm trying to remember if this was the tree. Okay, I put a good amount. But anyway, they also love water. So I planted it right on the fence so that it can access the drainage ditch because they grow lateral roots. Um, so those roots should go out and penetrate out there and get tons of water once it's like older. And then the people out there, it's a trade-off. You know, I'm getting water that's not mine, and well, not that any water's mine, but like getting water that's not mine, and I'm anybody can walk down my street and get mulberries. You know what I mean? Um, it's kind of cool. I'm thinking about planting another one right there, and that's it. I don't know if I want to plant one on the end because I don't want to worry about the neighbors complaining, but at least two. That way there's like a surplus. Birds love them too. These are my beautiful babies. That Star and then that Shadow laying down over there. They're Troy Springs rescue dogs. I went there to teach a friend how to free dive on a Monday, and they were there, and I went back on Saturday, and they were still there. And right before I left, I pet one. I was going to go get it food, and it threw up sticks, leaves, and mud. And I was like, all right, you guys are going home. So I dumped all my wet gear out of a tote, put them in the tote upside down, and tied the tote down, and brought him home and brought him to the vet the next day. And I planned to get him healthy and find him a good home, but they didn't normalize or get strong. And there's Shadow still has issues, but for at least like a year, like 6 months, just to where I didn't have to maintenance them every day, and then another 6 months before they like got regular. Like, it's pretty insane. Anyway, this is the reason why I bought this property. Look at how beautiful these live oak trees are. You got this one, and then you got this little one. It's got character. I mean, not these two trees only, but like that's the trees. You know, it's a lifetime investment to grow a tree. So I saw this property, and I said, "Oh, all I gotta do is put a fence across the front." Done that plenty of times. Let me go ahead and get this sucker. Anyway, I can build a home one day. Who knows? But yeah, see this? How this tree's bent and going down into the ground? Oak trees won't generally grow roots by propagation methods. But if a branch, let's say, gets heavy and goes down into the ground and then grows back up and then the bottom gets scuffed over time, it can grow more roots out of there. It's possible. So that's kind of what I did. This tree in an extremely like wet time or whatever conditions created it, bent, right? Anytime a tree does that, I manipulate it to make it stay that way. Not every time, but just sometimes. I messed up over there though. I bent it too far. It was bending towards me, and I just decided to curve it out, and it twisted it and cracked it. But it's made it. But yeah, so that's just gonna grow like that forever. Um, moving on. I guess I'll take you this way. Sorry about the mess, everybody. Like, I just took a sledgehammer to my well house, among other things. Like, that's not even my mess, but um, yeah, we've got some citrus trees here. These are pretty awesome. Can't remember their name though. But yeah, that's a Myers lemon. No, that one's a Myers lemon. I can't remember. I actually didn't purchase those trees. You see, I planted these ones down here just as an experiment. These are those ones I just showed you in the pot. There's one there, and there's one here. I just want to see how well they do in this environment, shaded, with this quality of soil. That maple will get cut down. I prepped this whole hole with soil already, so I can plant anything here later on. For now, it's just, you know, living. Let's see. Okay, I'm already at 5 minutes, so I'm going to try and pick it up. Probably only ones that'll watch till the end is my family anyway. I can't wait till spring. I'm gonna have to put in the heading since I didn't say it in the beginning. I came up with this idea yesterday to make this video. So I'm gonna try and make the exact same video in spring and see what we have. These hummingbird, well, not hummingbird vines. We have some of those, but those are all hummingbird attractants over there, except for like the roses and the succulents. But these are butterflies. Butterflies. Oh, this guy already hatched. Oh man, I was hoping to catch it. We've got tons of chrysalis out here because they love the milkweed, and for obvious reasons, it's a butterfly plant or a monarch butterfly plant. Like I said, sorry about the mess. I've got a lot of stuff going on here, and I'm just slowly getting it all done. For anybody who sees this and says, "What are you doing?" I know. I told my mom we needed to put them in pots. She put them in the ground. So, I don't know. Maybe at least they're rooting, and I can dig them up before it gets too cold. But yeah, they won't do good in the winter. This was $500 worth of $350 worth of compost, and then I had to pay delivery. I brought it here just for my holes. These are 2 fig trees, 2 different species of fig tree. And what I did here was I dug a deep hole, 4 feet deep, 4 feet wide. And I did that with every single fruit tree except for the mulberry tree. Because it was so close to the fence, I got like a half circle out of it. Anyway, 4 feet deep, concentrated amounts of compost at the bottom, and then diluted it as I went up and changed the soil mixture. Before I started, I took the top foot of topsoil and I filled it in buckets and totes around the hole. And then once I got down to the sand, I then made my berm going around. With the sand. Then once I got the soil mixture up to where the bottom of the pot would sit to be level or just above level with the ground, I sat the pot in there on that soil mixture that I created, and then I put all the topsoil back. And the reason why you want your topsoil in there is because you want the tree or plant to adapt to the environment that it is. Oh, poor little guy. Oh, you're still alive. If you sting me, I'm going to be mad. I'm trying to save your life. Come on. Just so you know, guys, wasps are like my enemy. But I'm just, that kind of guy. I love my enemies. Even so, I'm highly allergic. Well, not anymore. When I was a kid, I was highly allergic. I kind of grew out of it. But one will still hurt me more than it hurts you. Anyway, so, yep. This one, I'm going to probably take these figs off. They never ripened on the tree, which is weird because last year this tree produced great. That one produces profusely. It's insane how much it produces. Anyway, these guys are growing good. These were planted a year ago too. They were less than half the size that you see of them. That one over there with just a couple of twigs, and this one here was like this tall with just this branch and this branch, and they were only about this big around. So do it right, and that's how they grow. This guy took a while to get settled in, and I'm not sure why. I think it's because maybe it doesn't get enough sun. I don't know. But Oh yeah, this is another one I didn't dig a giant hole. The hole for this one was only about this big around, maybe a little bit deeper. But it was in a small pot. That's the reason why I say it's slow. That was one of the first ones I planted, and it was tiny when I put it in. See, these are these butterfly plants. The flowers are so beautiful. Anyway, moving on. Peach trees. These have grown quite a bit. Quite a bit. Same thing, 4-foot hole, 4-foot deep. Of course, these guys don't like as acidic soil, so I went light on the peat moss, added a little bit of ash to the soil, or maybe I'm thinking about the figs. I don't know. I researched it when I did it. Okay, I'm gonna post 2 videos, short version and long version. No. I love these peach trees. I just love how they grow. They get real naked in the wintertime, but like when they grow, they're so luscious. And the pruning process for stone fruit is different than most other trees. Most of the trees, like an oak tree, for instance, you would have like a leader that goes up the center. Peach trees are different for harvesting purposes, but also for maintenance. I guess I'll open the gate. I usually hop it. I promise I'm not a retard. I have this set up so that it kind of locks itself. These guys, you couldn't even walk under here. These branches were all coming down into the ground, and it had years of layers of branches underneath. And I wanted to leave it so bad, but it's the only way I had to drive through to the backyard. So I had to maintenance them. I'll tell you how I would have kept them. I would have kept them like this one. It's one of my favorite trees right here. Now, this tree has so much character and is so beautiful. Not going to get into the specifics of it, but see how thick it is right here, right? And then see how it drops to size right there. Like in one spot it drops. It does the same thing above that Y, which you can't really see. There it is. It drops again, right? See these grapevines? Look at this sucker. My hypothesis is this tree grew with this grapevine and created a fractal pattern of its own. I don't know if you would call it symbiotic, but you could, because it's made the tree strong as well, although you can't tell in short term. The tree must have been growing and the top continuously being killed repetitively for years. And then finally a shoot makes it through to the next point where it's getting repetitively killed. Then a shoot makes it through and then repetitively killed. The girth on this tree literally shrinks down to about half the size at each change. That is way too much. And then you can also tell by the way the branches are growing, like oh my gosh. I haven't even touched this tree. I haven't taken anything dead off of it or anything. I'm just like letting it go. The only thing I have done is I thinned out the vines so that I was going to let it go another notch because it'd probably follow the same pattern. There's a chance. But I figure I'm talking about waiting another 5 or 10 years for it to reach the next stage. So I'm like, maybe I'll just clear it out and let it grow into a tree from the stability it's gained as of now. So yeah, so there's that. And this is an experiment. I don't expect anybody to see this 15 minutes in. This is an experiment. This is a loquat tree. The leaves look really good together. Like, it's a good contrast, these two trees. It's dark, broad leaves with small, thinner leaves. Or I should say leaflets, not leaves. Because the leaf starts here. And all this is the leaf. That's how it works. These are leaflets. So wherever you see a little bud node, that is what creates the new leaf, right? So when this branch dies, it'll shoot out another one of these. So this whole thing is the leaf. And there's different names for different, like for instance, a poison ivy leaf has a certain kind of name because it's 3 leaves in the way the end one's growing out of the end. And you have ones where, anyway, so, yep, leaflet, leaf. There's the beginning of the leaf stem. So this is all one leaf. But anyway, yeah, so they both have kind of the same, like, jagged thing going on here. But the contrast, these leaves, obviously, you know, they're not looking too good right now. These trees got burned really bad in wintertime. I mean, in the summertime this year. Like, it was insane. Like, in one day, they just went poof. Like, like they got freaking fried by a freaking solar flare or something. Anyway, yeah, these are my babies. So, what I'm hoping is that, that they won't affect each other's nutritional intake enough to do anything but slow their growth down. And then when they get big, this is like an 80-foot tree, so it'll grow high. And this one here is kind of like smaller and like bushier. So they should look really good together. And you see the angle? It goes from there, out, right? So from the coop, there, out. And then from that corner, it's the same thing. It goes from the coop, there, out. So it'll be like a big, wide angle, you know, like thing going on here. But yeah, these, here's 2 more. I think I got a couple more trees, but this video is getting long. I mean, it's already been long for about, 15 minutes. I'm going to let it go. This is my property back here. I bought it. I wanted this property from the time I moved in so that nobody could build on it. Just so that I can leave it because it draws in a lot of wildlife. I mean, it's almost 4 acres from that side to that side over there. Like the different lots. 3 lots. But that's the only woods kind of not cleared, kind of like in, there's a few other little spots, but there's not a lot of them. Point is when birds migrate around, birds and other animals, they depend on these spots that are still woods in our area. Otherwise, there would be far less wildlife. Because of this, we sit in our front yard, and the trees from here to there, to there, to there, to there, to the front yard, right to the front yard, brings in so many cardinals, like all kinds of birds, and it's really awesome. Woodpeckers, we have owls and hawks, a whole bunch of animals. So yeah, so I bought that. If I get that one and that one, I'll have a monopoly out here. I'll have 5 acres in a gridded up neighborhood, and I think I can do it easily. And once I own it all, I can do something really cool with it if I so desire. But I've got other plans that might take up my time. Um, but yeah, I love it. I've only been out there like 2 or 3 times actually. I just like knowing that nobody's chopping it down now. You know what I mean? I'm gonna go out there and play more as time goes on. But it's definitely something I was very blessed with. Um, for anybody who understands what I'm talking about, I wanted it, and I was a little uneasy about it. Like I didn't want somebody else to get it, and out of nowhere, I was like, you know what? If it's in my future, it'll be there. And if it's in my future for me to have this property, it's already mine. I just don't know it yet. And yeah, there's the element of free will and making things happen. But at the same time, if you know how God is, then you know that it's already seen kind of how things are going to play out. And if it's His will to give me that property, uh, as my desire, or let's just say that's not even a true desire in my heart. I just want it because in my mind I want it for my own reasons, but that might not be what my heart truly longs for, desires. You know what I mean? Or it might not be, and He still wants to make me happy, can give it to me and then take it away. You know what I'm saying? But in the end, what's healthy for me and what's going to make me grow is what I'm going to get. And so I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to let it go. No joke. That this same year, I was thinking I let it go. Not long after, somebody calls me. Oh no, somebody dropped something in my mailbox and asked me if I wanted to buy it. And I did not reach out to these people or anything. I just straight up, I instead of fighting my current reality, I let it go and had peace with it. Because I had absolute peace and trust, I don't know. It allowed things to open up because I wasn't holding on to a specific reality, I guess. Um, anyway, that's that. And I'm not saying that I can do that with everything. I've got some major shortcomings. I'm rigid, like the rest of everybody. Um, I can't see past my own sufferings. Like that's just the bottom line. But I do. I do get little spurts of genius. That's I guess a gift I was given. Um, y'all have a wonderful day. Love y'all. And it's a long friggin' video. Look at that beautiful sky. Look at that beautiful sky. Look at that beautiful sky.